Welcome, wildflowers. Today, we're going to talk about the shift. It can be this simple. It can be this simple. One to another. One way to another. The reason it can be this simple is that there are fundamental shifts happening that have essentially already rooted themselves. There is a shift that has occurred. And it's occurred on a different plane. As above, so below. When the primary gifts of the spiritual presence in this world shift, we have to align with them in order to be present in a way that's going to be effective. Now, the beauty of this is they've shifted in a way that opens up potentials, possibilities that saints and sages and prophets and mystics have always embraced. The shift that enables a wide range of human beings to embody this means something even more special. Now, for those of you who are a little too, competitive, maybe I invite you to set down your mind for a little bit. Touch the ground. You are always welcome. I encourage you to go on a walk, do yoga while I chatter. The presence here that we're sharing enables you to go deeper into yourself. We're channeling something here, a link. And in this linking, you can tune into the shifted primary energies. Now, it's work. The work to shift, to tune to these energies makes all the difference. We're talking about moving yourself from one level of buzz to another. You got to do it. You've got to do this work in order to function effectively in the world. Please be present with this. Good morning. How are you, Shayna? Jonathan, Bobby, thank you for being here. It's a joy to have this time. Let's be present with what we're doing. There's a school. It's a temple. It's a hospital. It's a sacred space. It's been guiding humanity for a long time. There are other such schools and groupings of beings. This one has been the guide of the many hermetic wisdoms. They've stepped into humanity for the thousands of years that we've been telling his story. The shift that we're going through is taking us out of his story. And on a certain level, this is a very simple pattern shift. It's the difference between digging up and turning over and stirring a compost pile, breaking it down, and shifting it to a new place where we can intentionally plant a new garden. This is the shift. This is the analogy I encourage you to embrace because it gives you the ability to rest in what is and will continue to be the most effective way that you can live, that you can take steps to be present. So today we're going to try to bridge this gap between the extraordinary and the just really simple and basic. And I want to invite you to be very present with what you may recognize as the blockages you face personally. Because by sharing that in the chat or in the comments below, if you're watching after this has been recorded, by sharing your own personal challenges in a way that can relate to others, you might actually help each other discern that your personal challenges aren't personal. They are your story, but you share them much more than you may think. So we're going to go right at this because here's the premise. There is a new vibration. Think of it as this simple to begin with. If you shift yourself to tune primarily, get this part. If you shift yourself to tune primarily to this new vibration, you will be able to rethink, reconceive everything else in your life. You don't even have to effectively heal or put to rest all of your problems, but you do have to fundamentally shift to see them in a different way. So the work we're doing in this time, Tuesday morning service to the world time, is to help you recognize the paradigms, the way to see challenges that are much more conducive to tuning into the new earth. This vibrant space that we share wants to come to life like a flourishing garden. Are you going to help? Or are you going to get in the way? This is the basic question here. So let's talk about some of the biggest things that get in the way. When you use your energy, everybody gets energy. Everybody gets a daily allowance of energy. Think of it this way. And so don't even think about relative. I make more than you. Or something. You get a daily allowance of energy. How are you using it? Now, some of you might immediately be like, oh, I don't have much energy. I'm exhausted every day. Yeah, that's because it's been invested ahead of time. You are always receiving new energy every day, but we also go through a kind of pre-programmed routine that invests our energy in different commitments. And they often begin as a mental commitment. Mental commitments and time commitments, and they're usually entangled. But some of them are mental commitments that you're not committing time to. They're belief patterns that you've been investing in for years. Now, some of this is your heritage. What were you taught to believe? Are you still fueling what you were taught to believe without questioning and without tuning in? And you can ask yourself this. Are you still fueling belief patterns that you were taught to believe and you haven't questioned them and you haven't evaluated? Is this really healthy? Is this really me? Well, if you haven't asked that question every morning as you wake up, you're taking some of your allowance, your energetic allowance, and you're giving it to this. You're giving it to this belief pattern that mommy taught me. You're giving it to this belief pattern that the television taught you when you were a kid. Next. What are you doing? Every day, what are you doing? What are you doing? How do you spend your time? Now, let's be present here because a fair number of people watch these. Consider several hundred people go through this question together. Are you doing what you want to do? First of all, I'm so sorry if you're not. And being present with each other to support everyone here who is not doing what you want to do today matters so much. Now, this functions in two ways. Certain things you got to do on Earth. Like you got to breathe, you got to eat, and yeah, you need to clean up after you eat or you're going to have a bit of a wretched existence. So sure, there are some basic things, but you can learn to want to do those things. You can learn to bring joy and appreciation into the basics that even you might resist. And even take it a step further, sweep the floor. Incidentally, walk around barefoot. If you ever step on a crumb, it's obviously time to sweep the floor. Yay. Now, the other side of that is, do you have belief patterns in your head that have somehow convinced you that you have to suffer in order to survive? This matters a lot because many people do. And mostly these are inherited. We've inherited this belief pattern and we buy into it. And the fear of letting go is profound because when you tap into the fear of survival on Earth, whoosh, this physical form starts to get triggered. I won't have enough food. I'll be cold. Starvation and freezing, very terrifying prospects. That'll subvert your truth so fast. Look, the goal here is to be present with both. The goal is to to be in joy while you do what you need to do that brings you life, that brings you sustenance, that brings you money. And for these things to flow in joy, you have to shift yourself into the belief that this is possible. Now, this might not sound like esoteric mystical extremes. I assure you, it's crucial to the process. In a shifted existence where we are in tune with the sustenance of this new earth, we do what we love, and it's a gift to the world. To be present in the trust that you are needed, and the calling that moves through you gives you a loving way. Please be with these. And please, if you are in this, please reach out in your heart and just open yourself and be present with others here, listening, who are asking this question and finding they're not doing what they love every day. And it's frightening to change it. And it's terrifying to think that you could change it and fail, which is almost worse. It's like if you have a little seed of hope that you nurture in the corner and you hide under your bed and you just take it out and peek at it every once in a while, trying to imagine this seed could be a tree, and then it wouldn't work. It would shrivel and die. It's like, no, I want to keep it under my bed. I want to protect it. Is this you? Because in so many cases, your dreams, they've got to get light. They need wind and rain. They're not going to survive if you hide them. But it's legit to be afraid that exposing your dreams to the world could crush them. So is there an in-between? Can you share them with us and nurture the trust that we're building a community where we want to help protect what you're dreaming? We want to help you recognize when your dreams need more to survive and thrive. But we also want to help you protect them. Some seedlings do a lot better if they're started in a greenhouse with protection, some kind of shielding from the elements, even just a roof so they don't get crushed by the rain when they're too small, but they get a little bigger. They love that. There's this difference. A little seedling could get destroyed by the rain. Slightly bigger, toughens it up, gives it the water. It loves it. Do you even know how to look at these dynamics within yourself? Well, here's another reason people don't. Because you need to put attention into your dreams. You need to put attention. Your attention is like the wind and the rain, the sun, and the right amount of warmth. And often people are not putting attention to their dreams and they're squirreling them away in the corner because you have way too many other things to worry about. So look, try this out. This might sound ridiculous, but I'm imagining that a high proportion of you are just inefficient. I know this is not mystical extreme here, but try it. You're just inefficient. You know that you want to change this, and this, but you're starting with the wrong things. You're putting your effort into the wrong areas and they're not productive enough. So it's not just about prioritizing. It's about being aware. Where are you most prepared to change? Where are you most ready to grow? Sometimes it comes in surprising places. Often it comes in putting down a burden that's truly useless. So let's try this one. I love this one because it's just a direct hit on so many of you. You ready? I'm going to invite you to be open. If this is for you, just take your medicine. If this is not for you and you argue with it, it's for you. Who resents their ex? Who resents their ex? You need to heal this shit. And you probably don't need to talk to them. Maybe you do. In my experience, not very often. You could do this on your own. You need to do the work so you're not resenting primary people in your past. You know, honestly, hate to say it, but who resents their mom or their dad or their brother or their aunt? Resentment is like taking your weekly salary and just like light it on fire. Just burn it. Just burn it up. No good. The only possible good The only conceivable good that could come from resentment is to help you say no when you don't know how to say no. Look, just here, try this. Ready? I'd like you to repeat after me. No. That's it. If you're having trouble saying no to someone who has been unhealthy for you, please respect that volatility in your emotions is rarely the right choice. It can help when you're struggling inside yourself. You want to love them, you want to stay in their expectations, you want to maintain the family Thanksgiving dinner, whatever. So a part of you screams to the surface and throws a fit. Good for you. I support you. Not sustainably, though. You shouldn't keep doing this. If you continue to respond this way to people in your past, even just in your mind, you're wasting your energy. What you need to do is honor this voice within yourself. Stop repressing it. Honor it and be like, yo, you can't throw a temper tantrum. Maybe we just shouldn't go. If part of you is screaming resentment at anyone from your past, I want you to be ready to face this. I want you to want to clean this shit up. You got to set the standard. It might take more work than you want. It often doesn't. It just involves directly being willing to say, look, when people are entangled in karma, they're entangled in karma. It takes two to tango, okay? The tangle that you get when you're karmically enmeshed is not about good and bad, right or wrong, fault. It's not about that. You have investment in the vibes. You want to know how those things end? No. That's it. They end when you learn how to say no. If you can't say no, you've still got something invested there. If you have something invested there, focus on your investment. If you're telling the same stories about how someone's hurt you over and over again, whoo, just light somebody on fire. Would you do this for me? Like, where's my lighter? I lost my lighter. Would you please light some money on fire for me? Please. Just go outside and light some money on fire. And do it on the street so people can see you doing it. Oh, now that you're lighting money on fire, could you please go to a local soup kitchen and give it to them? I am not kidding. If you are resenting someone in your past, you need to make a priority out of coming to terms with this, because it will not bring you good. And repressing it won't bring you good. What you need to do is sit with it. Feel it. Just don't accept it as a normal, ongoing presence. Likely, you need to say no to something that you are not saying no to yet. Please be open to doing this. Now, exes in relationships, thank you so much for the likes. I appreciate it. It spreads the love. Exes in relationships, sometimes harder, but it's almost always more clear cut. Your ex, you were attracted to them. Your karma's there. Parents, sometimes, it's honestly different. Like, there are karmic reasons we incarnate in our families, but you didn't get to choose that. So it's a different kind of equation. Still terrible to resent them, but it's different. Really terrible to just blame. My mom did this to me. My mom did that. Yeah, you were born in that. Maybe you did that to someone else in your past life. But your ex, you did this in this life. You were attracted to them. It went sour. They betrayed you. They mistreated you. They abused you. They gaslit you. Okay, I hear you. I care. You are getting nothing out of hating them. The only possible thing that you're sustaining this for, the only possible reason you're sustaining this is because you're still attracted to that type and you're trying to teach yourself not to be. This is legit. It's valuable. You just need to step it up. Mature, okay? Please, mature. Own the fact that you were attracted to them. Own it. Own that as yourself. Don't blame them. Don't project your power on them and then resent them for taking your power, because that's all that's going on. Now, again, I say they gaslit you. They were abusive. I hear you. I care. I care. And how are you going to extricate yourself from even thinking about them? What do you need? Ask yourself that question. What do you really need in order to let them go? Because what we're analyzing here is every day you're taking your life force and you're investing it in the past. You're just throwing it over your shoulder, lighting it on fire, throwing it on your shoulder. You're just throwing away a lot of energy, sustaining beliefs, sustaining ideas. And many of these beliefs and ideas are directly up to you to change. Now, some of them aren't. If you were raised in a tradition that has a dogma, some of them are not as up to you. You have to make a choice to disengage from a dogma. A dogma is a belief pattern that just lacks self-reflection. It's just beliefs that people have been believing for so long, but nobody's really asking where they come from or carefully being aware that they're kind of cultural. It's not about right and wrong, not about God. It's not really about God. It's about a cultural pattern that you're bought into. And it's scary to let go, because when you let go, you're letting go of community. These could be hard to change, but they are draining you. They are draining you of your essence, of your love. What can you do to find yourself enough to gain the perspective to shift into a perspective that can see these things much more honestly? You haven't even resolved them all, but you allow yourself to see more honestly what you're contending with within yourself. This is a real question. I'm inviting you to be present with it. I'm going to take 2 yoga breaks today. I'm going to do a little yoga break. I'm going to do something simple. So I'm going to invite you to do this with me. Every 20 minutes is fine too. I'm usually trying to do half an hour. But this stance, just a wide angle stance, so powerful. You lift up your arms. Just feel my hips. So I'd like your help. I can handle a lot more. I love it. I love the spiritual athletics of taking on more. I sabotage myself fairly regularly for standards and reasons that are basically dogmas in my head. So my karma is currently running over my dogma. I didn't know this one. I don't see so great, so I guess I don't read bumper stickers. I just heard this. I love it. Somebody commented it, and forgive me for forgetting who you are. Thank you for sharing. It's hilarious. And what's happening is the patterns in my head of what it is to be a good spiritual person are getting run over by my karma. I like challenges, and I've been getting a little bored. I want the challenges are got to step it up a bit. Got to step it up a bit. And as part of that, I really need to overcome the sense that there's ego in wanting more money, YouTube success, these things. It's like I'm experiencing this as a primal, like, come on, I want a challenge. Every day it helps me get up. Every day it's exciting in a way that I believe is quite healthy. If you can just witness me in this. Because the joy of knowing that I can help a lot more people is the joy of knowing that it's like it's already flowing in the ways that work. And I want to inspire you to want to help people. I want young people to look out into the world and say, oh my goodness, I want to be a groove doctor when I grow up. I'm a groove doctor. I'm liking this. I'm a groove doctor. I know how to work with the vibes in a way that can transform health, life force, intentions, empowerment. This is doctoring. This is fixing things that are broken in the world, in ourselves. And I want to be someone who helps others dream of doing this. We have a training. We have a teacher training. You could start in the spring, and you could do some of the coursework for the training starting anytime you want. Sacred Creatures is the first course. You can find it on the website. If you get this done, you could wait to start till the spring, but honestly, I think it's more empowering to do some of the coursework first and be liberated to focus more on beginning to practice taking care of other people. There is so much that you can do with not as much experience as you might think. Inspiring other people to do the basics of tuning themselves with the key ring can dramatically shift people's attention, intentions, potential. It's a beautiful, beautiful shift. So please consider, is this you? Is this what brings you to life? Now, make it this simple in your mind. Humanity is going through a shift. It's going to take another 10 years for this to be not complete even, but for the heart of the change to be resonant in a way that's dominant, clearly guiding society. For the next 10 years, we're going to be moving through this shift and learning to participate in the changes in a way that you can facilitate individuals changing. It's your responsibility. It's your calling. It's our job to be together, to network, to connect, to empower each other, to resonate the shifted energy. And this manifests in a lot of different ways, but it's like sharing a sacrament. It's a sacrament that's in the vibration of the water we drink and the air we breathe. It's here, but tuning into it is an art form all in itself. Now, one of the most basic challenges, and I assure you this is basic, is coming to terms with what it feels like to have an awakened, open chakra system. Your chakras have very practical gifts to give you to live a better life. Your third eye opens enough, you start to walk down the street and you know what other people are thinking. It's just present. You start to open it even more. You can tell there are global currents shifting today. You can tell that a major aggression has begun today. You can tell there's an earthquake. You just know. And you definitely start to get affected even more by the weather. A storm front comes in, you feel and fear even the barometric changes. So being at peace with this becomes a practical challenge that we need each other for. We need to be in supportive community to tune in and talk about it, share the instincts, the insights, share the hints that help you prepare for such things. Share how you handle it well. Share how you enjoy it. Share the excitement of getting up and wanting to open that door to breathe outside. All year round, cold, warm, open that door, get a breath of air because it's like you're tasting what's the life like today. The things that we do to be at peace with these changes are fun. And to bring your joy into these spaces, incomparable. I got to do a handstand. I'm intense. Not even focused enough, but it makes me lively. Look, the joys of these, they're in every corner. My family went to a farm yesterday. We're friends with people who own a farm. They're amazing. And early in my relationship with my wife, we worked on their farm as a CSA. Like we worked once a week to just get a CSA share. And now they have little kids, and we have little kids. And my wife and kids went out there and they came back with fresh vegetables. We had vegetables for breakfast. This is nuts. Like I never had vegetables for breakfast growing up. I love it. We had broccoli and eggs for breakfast, and the broccoli was fresh. Like the simplicities, you could look at such a statement, you could hear me say it, and maybe you don't feel this and you wish you did, but it is an art to learn to bring yourself into a place where you cherish the sacred, simple joys. My wife and I fight over, over who gets to wash the dishes because it's a peaceful, graceful way to complete the day. I like the warm water on my hands. It's one of the first spiritual lessons I learned from Thich Nhat Hanh. Do the dishes to do the dishes. You can find sacred joy in these simple actions of living a life. It's not that we get to choose everything, but we do get to choose how we relate to everything, much more than you may think. And the art of becoming someone who can facilitate a life like this in others is part of the goal. Now, we've shared this before. Thank you for the like. Just saw that click up. We shared this before. The art of being present in a goal often involves having a goal beyond your goal. I cannot tell you how many times I thought I was kind of being humble. Like, I don't need to get that good. I don't need to have that many people show up. But really, you have to aim for more in order to get something a little bit more diminished. Recently, I'm trying to shift from, like, I have a basic goal of holding handstands for 30 seconds. So all day long, I'll just hold a handstand for 30 seconds. And I'm like, cool. Now I'm trying to shift to get that to a minute because I want to. And I've been having a little too much trouble. So then the other day, my son was with me and I was like, what could he film? So I'm like, oh, look at this. I've been trying this one thing. I tried it once where I do modified handstand push-ups in the hallway. Now, I have wondered whether it's even possible for me to get handstand push-ups down. Kind of set it aside, like maybe I can't do that. But whatever, this is fun. They're modified because I can support myself by touching the wall. I just put this video up on the yoga channel, Wild Chakra Yoga, linked in the description. So in this yoga channel, one of the things I'm trying to share is I'm not just showing you things I'm great at. I'm showing you some of my goals. I'm showing you my work towards goals. And the irony here is this wasn't necessarily a goal. But once I posted that video, my handstands got so much better. I've been holding minute-long handstands for the past couple of days, like with an ease that's fun. And so taking on a deeper challenge and working with shifting my weight like this has given me much more support to hold a handstand stably. I believe this is a phenomenal metaphor for many challenges in life. If you think you're just aiming for this and you're being humble by only aiming for this, you might not recognize that by aiming for something else also, you will develop the skills that help you do this more effectively. And I'm wondering, how could this be true for you? How could this be true for you? Consider that. Do you know your goals? I have to say, it's really helpful to know your goals clearly, at least some. Having goals for the big picture in your life, not just bucket lists way down the road, but things that help you get up in the morning. Having goals like this help you get up in the morning. They feed you. The beauty of being in a healthy relationship with your spiritual intentions is that if you get yourself tuned to goals that are really, they're an expression of many aspects of yourself working together. So you're not just choosing anything. You're choosing things that really speak to you. They bring you to life in several ways. Once you have this goal, it will start to bring you to life. You don't need to achieve it. It's the act of pursuing it that brings this vibrancy and joyful playfulness. Or it can. Maybe you engage it too aggressively. Maybe you're the kind of personality type which just has to always strive for more. The more monster can be dangerous. The more monster can be really unhealthy. And you can know these about yourself. Do you enjoy the joyful pursuit of your goal? Push it to failure. Like, okay, whatever, but you're invigorated. You moved your body. I'm going to have to get up and do another handstand again. I'm really feeling this like, if this is you, I'm inviting you to take it to the next step. Be willing to share with other people. Be willing to share with us. Right here, tell us, what are you working towards? Now do a simple version. I think there's value in keeping privacy around some goals. It's like you keep it tight. But what can you share that will help us believe in you? Because if I know you're the person who's trying to build a permaculture farm, every time I think of you, I will remember that. That's a gift. I mean, I hope you accept it as a gift. That's a gift. I'm now helping you believe in yourself. This is what community can do for each other. Now, I'm inviting you to translate this as above, so below, as big picture, so tight picture, your spiritual practice. So your spiritual practice is a catalyst to shift your energy. If you have a healthy relationship with your spiritual practice, which means you're tuning in, you're not just abstractly setting mental goals. You're tuning in to what you desire, like what moves you. What do you think about your desires? Often a different story. And what does your body react to? When does your body feel invigorated? And when does your body just kind of cringe and be like, don't make me do that? There's so much to learn about yourself from developing a personal practice. Wild Chakra Yoga, please go visit. Foundational practices, do one every other day. You don't know where to begin, I'm telling you. Wild Chakra Yoga, go there. Now, what's so much of a gift about this is we're not just doing movement. We're tuning into chakras, and chakras tune into themes, and themes give you blessings in your life. So to learn that our spirit is dynamically interacting with our body is the kind of gift you will. I look back on the time when I learned to feel my heart with so much joy. Like remembering those days, I didn't care about anything else. I didn't even want to talk to people. I was just like, oh my God, I can feel that. It was like a whole new dimension was opening to me. And I was so focused on it that I stopped doing everything I used to do. I stopped going to clubs. I stopped smoking pot. I stopped watching television. I stopped watching sports. I didn't care about anything else. I was so excited that this dimension was opening to me. And that's part of what makes me me. You don't need to do these. But I want to invite you towards this joy of you begin to feel your chakras. It's so cool. And that's what chakra yoga is doing. Now, all yoga should do these, but we're emphasizing the dynamic interaction between your chakras and giving you poses that help each of the chakras. So all of the practices are broken down in patterns that relate to chakras. You don't have to think about it, but it's easy to just shift yourself to say, I'm feeling my heart. I want to do some stuff for the heart. So when I'm feeling my heart, I like doing back bends that are just at the heart. So just now, that invigorated my body, opened my spine, but it also really opened my heart because I'm thinking about getting my heart more open. To have that available, oh my goodness, like every day I'm doing this all day long and it's great. Targeted little breaks where I invigorate myself. I can shift bad moods like that. It is incredible how much you can change in small amounts of activity and small amounts of time if you know how. So come on over. Sign up for the foundation. Sign up, just visit the channel and do one of those every other day. There's more as you learn. This is a place. People say take it to the mat, right? We're taking our life to the mat. And here's a trust that it's so exciting. There's something built in. There's something built into your body that works with your spirit. Now, that might not sound dramatic, but it's really amazing. If you learn to work with your body in ways that are consistently healthy, you will activate your spirit. My heart feels great. My heart feels really good right now, and that wasn't that much. But I knew when and how to just give it this little boost. Being in tune like this is fun. And the shift that culture is making is very simple. We are shifting. It's really this simple. And I want to invite you deeper into understanding this because I know you've probably heard it. We are moving from fear to love. This is really what's happening. Now, let's look at the basis of this, okay? We're leaving history. I'm going to present to you, try to understand this on just the most basic of levels. History is his story. His story is, and has always been, written around individuals who could maintain power in communities in a way that responded to fear. So the reason these individuals maintain their power is because they know how to get 20 guys together to fight the wolves. And the best guy at fighting the wolves was typically a guy who was good at fighting the wolves by himself and good at getting the other guys to do what they're told. This often dissolved down to who was the strongest dude who had enough intelligence to boss other people around. So that often meant the very strongest dude would listen to another very strong dude, and together they would dominate everybody else. But realize it's operating on the basic assumption that you have to face those wolves. You have to face those wolves. If you didn't have those wolves to face, there's no real ground. And it's literally the energy that creates these people is based in fear. So women will choose these men as their mates because they have to. If they choose a weaker man, a stronger man might take them. This has been the reality for many cultures all across world history. And I'm presenting to you, it's still the reality. Sure, we have pockets in which it's different, but push comes to shove, these dynamics rise to the surface and they destroy social dynamics. So be present with this, because all we did was translate the fear into other people. Now, which man can unite people to face those evil people over there? Now, which man can unite people to face people they call evil? Because their power, as most of them know, is based on you continuing to be afraid of those people over there. That's pretty sad. And yet that is the reality we still live within. If a leader or a potential leader, an aspiring leader, is dynamic enough to get you to be afraid and then tell you, I am the medicine for your fear, he has won his story. He will be remembered in his story. His name will be on a list. He won the game. The power is present. You can feel it. Demagogues, fascists, individuals, usually men, who have been able to give a speech and fiercely decry some other people they have to go fight and bring everyone together and unite them, you can feel it. You can feel the vibe uniting people. You can feel the shared resonance, and it's intoxicating. It's intoxicating when that energy starts to move through. You have to struggle to say no to such things. You have to struggle to say no to such things. And shift your attention into love. Love could work the same way. Love can work the same way. Love could be it could be more intoxicating. It is not primarily based in this reaction against. If a man is developing power in reaction to the wolves, what he's doing is he's taking the cumulative energy of how much is his community afraid of the wolves. You can measure that. Little Johnny got eaten by a wolf. This woman got bit by a wolf and barely got away. Everybody remembers the stories in a village. So someone who's going to lead has to be bigger than all of these. So they dig down deep within themselves. It's amazing. Spiritual resolve. They dig down within themselves. They generate a presence that says, I will help defeat the wolves. That's energy. That's literal energy that can be measured, but it's generated in reaction to, against. They've overcome fear. It's amazing. It's crucial. It's a dynamic you might need more of within yourself. But the ultimate health is to be able to do these things within ourselves, to dynamically digest intense, even the most terrifying, tearing you apart energies, and to not be torn apart by them, to become something even deeper, to let your old self be torn apart within yourself, and to become something more dynamic and more amazing. This is crucial. You need this skill. We teach you this skill. I am here to teach you this. And it's not enough. You can't let this be dominant. You need to do it more effectively than everybody you've heard of. And then surrender to love. Because there is a love that is stronger than all of this. And this is not abstract. It is present. This love is here. It has already been born into our world. The cultural patterns of history, the ocean of karma that we live within is still here. It's still operating off of all of these fear-based patterns, all of our heritage of this culture fighting this culture destroying this culture abusing this culture. We're in it. We're in a sea of this pain. But then there are these fountains of life force coming up from the ground. And they're here. They are already here. I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying. I'm just letting it move. I have learned to attune my mind enough to the truths that are sprouting into the world that I can share this with you. That's almost as simple as it gets. You can do it too, and you are needed. These fountains of life force, first, you become aware of them. You're here, so some part of you cares. Next, you learn to tune to them. When you tune to these fountains of life force, you are simply gaining perspective on everything else in your life. This is how we began. This is when you look within yourself first. You say, what are you resenting from your past? What have you buried? What pain have you buried that needs your attention? In the same way you can resent people too much, you could bury your resentment too much. You might be trying so hard to be what you think of as a good person that you have not acknowledged pain from your past. And you may well need to. We just don't want you to stay there. So respect that you need the love that could hold space for you to let go of your fear. You need the love that could hold space for you to let go of the pains and the wounds of the past, so that you can stay with these fountains of joy and health. One more. What do you need? What do you need to do it? What do you need? What's going to get you up? What's going to get you up? What's going to get you up in the morning? What's going to make you want to get out of bed? What's going to make you wake up and you start to go, I get to do that today. What is it? Please consider this. Consider it as important as air, as important as food. This is the basis, the groundwork of shifting into a new life. It's not all abstract and mystical. It's practical. The world of love is fountaining into our presence. It wasn't always this way. Now, there's always been love here, but there was no intention 1,000 years ago for the entire culture to be transformed into a love-based world. It wasn't time. Something else was happening. We talk about this in plenty of other classes. We're here now. It's already started. It's already No one's saying that your pain isn't real. No one's saying that your fears don't matter. No one's saying that the world's a great place yet. It certainly isn't. You just got to come from this foundation of an attunement to love. And then we get to look around and go, wow, it's a mess. What am I going to do about this? For years, I was traumatized by the potential of my country, US, to go in the terrible directions politically. I finally trained myself to recognize that fear, be present with it, and pray. Da, da, da. And what I got was do this. Channel my effort into this work. And again and again and again, I got drawn away from feeling like I was supposed to go battle with this dragon or that dragon. Some people, their job is to go battle with those dragons. Wasn't my job. I was willing to. Thank you so much. Thank you for the gift. I was willing. And what I got invited to do is pour my attention into these. Be regular and consistent. Be here for you. Be here for you. Build my practice. Get my best work down in the courses. Wrote a book, made some courses. Be here to help empower people to take care of yourself and then your community. That's my calling. You have a calling. It may be simple. It may be complex. It may be beyond your reach to appreciate yet. But please trust that the web of life in this world wants to feed you straight. Fear is an indirect feeding process energetically. It's a big part of why history had to happen. Fear is an indirect feeding process. I know this is weird, but just try it. There are wolves that live around your village. They generate fear. You develop power in relation to the wolves. Thank you so much. Thank you. You develop power in relation to the wolves. That's a reaction against a fear. You need to be able to do it, but it's not great when that's your primary feeding system. Communities throughout history have come together in dynamic and deep loving engagement and harmony when they have an enemy. It's astounding how much people come together when there is a tragic pattern that they need to face with each other. Fear feeds us by inviting us to rise to a new level of challenge and power within ourselves. Humanity has been doing this for thousands of years, and now we have generated enough power and presence to activate this on an even deeper level. This is the shift. We have created the potential for a more vibrant presence that is primary sourced, fed directly from the roots that dig deep into the earth. We couldn't handle this stuff. We could not handle this stuff until now. Only a few small number of individuals could handle it, and they had to be braced by thousands. It's not the case anymore. It's not the same anymore. You could do a straight tap because the human consciousness has been created over the course of thousands of years. We have been creating consciousness, and it exists. You can tap into it. In the same way when a pony is born, it knows how to walk. It knows how to walk because it's stepping into the presence of every pony that's ever walked. It is knowing itself from the inside out in relation to the consciousness of horses. Now, you might not believe this, but it is how it works. Those trigger patterns of engaging their body that just know how to use the body like that. This is what we've done dynamically. Human beings have learned to match fear and create safety, and then match fear and then create community, and then match fear and then create love again and again and again. And now the fear spark is starting to be unnecessary. And now this is what it's going to look like, people. The first pillar that drops is going to be direct cultural animosities. Now, I know it doesn't look like it right now, but this is what's going to be happening for the next 10 years. We're going to be purging cultural hatreds. It's not going to look pretty. It looks like war fighting in certain instances. But what we're doing is the world is removing our right to generate power by beating the shit out of someone else. The world is removing our right to do that. So when we do it, it's no longer going to create heroes. We're not going to make movies about people who kill a lot of people anymore and think of that as a great thing. We are being challenged to transcend this model. And what she's going to do is challenge us herself directly with the hurricanes and the floods and the fires. And in the face of her challenge, we have to come together. This is still fear, but she's taking it. She's taking it now. It's no longer human against human in this capacity. Now, it might seem almost too much to hope for, but I invite you not only to hope for it, to rest in it with us. Because the invitation is, be ready. You don't know when your community is going to need you. All across the southeastern United States right now, communities have been ripped apart by hurricanes. When this happens, some of the best comes out of people, and some of the worst comes to the surface as well. We are being invited to learn to match these fears, transcend them, and then learn to tap straight into love. A straight tap into love that enables us to navigate these changes within ourselves, and then to be present, to be a fire, to help others navigate them as well. It's enough. For the record, Tom and Sarah give more than everybody else. No offense, but they regularly donate. I'm so grateful and thank you. Actually, I received several donations directly through the website, and if you have any inclination to do that, I'm honored, appreciate it, and need it to keep coming. We gotta get this up. I'm most inspired, excited when somebody signs up for sessions. This week we're doing a good push for sessions. So sent out a mailing. If you're not on the mailing list, visit the website. Please do so. We're here. We're here to help you do these. The future is about bringing together these forces in a harmony that we help each other stay tuned. It is not an era for lone wolves. It's an era to unite, support each other in transformation. And the beauty of this particular process is, in many ways, you might be a unique representative for your family, for the community that you share. Maybe you are the only one you know how to talk to. It is an honor to me to have you here with us. Please help trust each other. Help each other trust each other. We are here to keep ourselves tuned to this new love, to develop the strategies, the care, the support, the dynamic presence that helps make it easier and easier and easier to stay tuned to this new dynamic love. We need each other. Thank you for being here. Tom, thank you so much. Shayna, thank you for being here. I'm going backwards now. Oh my goodness. Hildegarda. My mother makes these cookies. Cookies for joy. Cookies that they're called cookies that bring joy. They're from Hildegard de Bingen, who is a beautiful, beautiful figure. If you don't know of her, they're so good. They have a lot of fall spices, nutmeg, and cinnamon. I just had one yesterday. Forgive me that I made that association through your name. I don't know if you were so named. Nomi, thank you for being here. Thank you all for being here. Please know you can hop over. We have a community space. There's a membership element, so you can sign up for monthly membership. Consider it a donation that helps make this community work and grow. We talk to each other every day. It's an incredible space of support. We're really firing it up, helping dynamically inspire each other to face our challenges, to be present in greater and greater, oh my goodness, physical, mental, spiritual health, and so much more. Goofiness as well. We are meeting in 5 minutes together in a way that you can just join without any pre-signing up. So go to the website, Sanctuary, and there's a little button and you can join the Google Meet, which we'll be at in about 5 minutes. So you are welcome. You're welcome to come say hi, get to know some of the people who are most committed here. Thank you, all of you who are. I know many of you only from a distance, but I know more about you than you might think. And it's a joy to have you here. We've increasingly been clarifying our vibration and attracting just wonderful, loving folks. Thank you for being one of them. Much love be with you and your family.